Doing? Hope you're doing great and hope you're staying safe. Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that bell button so you get notified whenever I make a post. So today I'll be giving you lowdown, I'll be giving you the highlights of all that happened in the house we seen yesterday evening and this morning. So yesterday they had their amatem tax. I'll talk about their wager challenge as well. I'll talk about the police and thief game they had. So yeah, this housemates took us down memory lane. So I'll talk about that. Then I'll talk about the misunderstanding that went on again between Prince, Dorothy, and Lucy, and then the reconciliation process between Kiddwaya and Lucy. So stay tuned, get a glass of juice, get a glass of cup of water, get your coffee, get your tea while I dish it out as it is hot. So yesterday, Amatem soft gel did their tax or gave the housemates the tax to do yesterday, and that resulted in a misunderstanding or in a quarrel between Neo, Prince, Erica, and Lucy yesterday. So if you've not seen that video, check my previous video. You're going to see that I dedicated a video for that whole process. So after the whole quarrel and reconciliation in quotes, the housemates were asked to present a drama, more like a presentation about Coatem, how it can be used, who can use it, just a drama, a short skit about Amatem soft gel. And at the end of the day, team 2 won the tax. Team 1, let me start with team 1. Team 1 had Ozo, Nengi, Kiddwaya, Erica, and Tricky T. Team 2 had Prince, V, Neo, Lekon, Dorothy, and Lucy. So at the end of the whole presentation, team 2 won, and they won the sum of 700,000 naira. While team 2 won the sum of 300,000 naira. On Twitter, we saw so many people saying, that there was a mix-up in the whole result thing, that it shouldn't be. Team 1 did it for them, and all of Team 1 was more funny. But during the brief, Biggie said, that this thing will be scored based on presentation, teamwork, and incorporation of Amatem into the whole drama thing. So I feel why Team 2 won is because they actually incorporated the whole corona thing. They made sure that, yes, there's corona right now. So I think they incorporated that. And also how malaria can be spread. They also incorporated that into their drama and all. What else did they incorporate? That was just basically, I think that was why they won this tax for this tax. But Team 1's drama was really okay. I really enjoyed it, but they did not incorporate or did not put into consideration that corona was actually is actually around. Should I say around, or we are actually still faced by corona? So I think that was the major highlight, or that was why they didn't really miss it. So that corona thing in initiating the whole corona situation into their whole drama, I think that was what gave Team 2 an edge over Team 1. So they had their wager challenge also. Wager challenges are always on Thursday evening. So for this week, the wager challenge, Biggie told them that they should more like mimic their housemates, the housemates that have left the house. They should talk about the housemates that have left the house, mimic them, talk about them. What else again? More like just do anything about your housemates, that how you miss them. More like just do a presentation about the housemates that have left the house. So they did it, but initially when they started that thing, I was thinking they were still rehearsing, because the whole thing was just so rousy. Side talks were going on, like there was no form of moderation or coordination amongst the housemates. So I did not really understand, are you people still rehearsing, or is this the wager challenge really? That was just what was just on my head. Like I was trying to really, what's going on here? Or is it because they did it in the lounge? That was why they didn't take it seriously. But even last week's challenge, when they talked about their heroes, they also did it in the lounge. So I did not really understand why it was that rowdy, so many side talks. But at the end of the day, the Sha did it well, and the presentation went well. Apart from, let me just ignore the side talks that were going on at the background. The presentation went well. They talked about everybody, and I really liked the way they presented it, not really presenting it, because I think that was what Lucy was trying to fight for during Katarina's time, not really presenting a housemate as being a cantankerous human being, all the house, because at the point in time they wanted to present Katarina as this kind of person that is a boss lady. When you say boss lady, someone that is more like authoritative, more like someone that likes fights and all of that. But Lucy was like, no, this shouldn't be all we can remember Katrina for. So it went well. Like I enjoyed it, and it was just there. But my major highlight from this wager challenge is when it had to do with Lilo. Because Lilo was really so attached to Eric, most housemates could not really pinpoint what they could really say about Lilo. So I just feel most times when you're in a gathering of people, you shouldn't just limit yourself to a particular person. You're here for something else. Why don't you mix around, like talk to other people so that other people can get to know you? Because it's not really about the moment. It's about, okay, what am I taking to the next moment in my life? So I think that was just the major thing. They did a skit about the whole thing, and then each housemate now went individually to talk about the housemates that had left the house. So it was a lovely one. I'm happy that they did this. Then they now took us down memory lane where the Hannah had to do police and thief. Like, see, if you didn't do police and thief, see, when you see me on the road, please respect me. You have to call me auntie. You know, this police and thief game is something that I feel everybody really did. It's more like, oh, this person is police and then this is a thief. You don't have to go and hide. And then you shoot and all of that. It was really fun to watch. Like, you just kept hearing like, it was just so funny. Then Dorathys now came and said, oh, she has killed everybody. She has killed everybody from Ozor's side, so that she can salvage her own people. It was just so funny to watch. Like, it took me down memory lanes and how much we've missed or have missed as a child. Because then we were just playing, nothing really, we were not bothered about anything, nothing at all. And that boils down to what these housemates are doing. Presently, these housemates are not bothered about anything. The only thing they are bothered about is, okay, how do I win my 85 million? And there are certain things you have to do to win that 85 million. So for now, they are not bothered about anything because those strategies to get to that 85 million is not at stake right now. So when life is just so easy, enjoy the moment. If it's hard to enjoy the moment, it's more like just enjoy the moment as it comes. Nothing lasts forever. I really did enjoy that police and thief game that they did yesterday. Nengi was just out of the mood. Like, if you see the way she was shooting, let me not even talk too much about that. Then I'll now move over to Prince, Dorothy, and Lucy.
Talking because I am your friend, and you know
So what happened is that Erica went to meet Lucy to resolve their differences, and then Lucy was just trying to say that, oh, most housemates misunderstand her. That anything that comes from her, people just take it as, oh, it's Lucy that is trying to just talk. So they were just talking, and all of a sudden, Prince and Dorothy now got into the whole conversation. And I think what really pissed Prince and Dorothy is when Lucy said, oh, Prince and Dorothy are not her friends. And they're like, are you for real? Prince now went ahead to say that most times when you're actually down, when you're really pissed, I'm the one that looks for you and actually tries to cheer you up. And now you have the guts to say this kind of thing. That no problem. If that's the way she says it, it's fine by him. And Dorothy was like, as it is now, it's so obvious that Lucy is doing these things intentionally just to get at them. See, people are now saying, oh, that Prince and Dorothy are not her friends for them to have reacted that way. I completely disagree with this aspect. Let me even say something against self. Please, when I comment on this, when I talk on my vlog, most times I'm giving you what happened. I'm telling you what happened during the Big Brother, and I'm also analyzing things. So when people come to my channel and say, oh, I'm being sentimental and all of that, this is my own, I'm just giving my own analysis. If you have your own analysis to say, then you put it down in the comment section. Don't come and be telling me, oh, I'm being sentimental about it. This is what I feel, so I'm going to tell you how I feel. If you think it is not okay by you, then put the way you feel in the comment section. Can we just please disagree to agree, or agree to disagree? You mustn't come and insult me before you make your point. I'm not going to insult anybody. Just trust me. I've seen so many comments on insult, people insulting me and all that, but I still go back to your comment and reply in a very subtle way, because I'm not that kind of person that will begin to drag anybody on social media, because you don't know me, I don't know you in person. All we are just here is, okay, let's try and familiarize and get to know each other. So please, I will not really be happy if people come and be insulting me based on my own take on certain issues. So let me go back to this whole Lucy and Prince thing. So people saying, oh, Dorothy and Prince are not really her friends. That's why they're actually shouting at her like that. I completely disagree. Right from day one, even right from when Lucy became the head of house, when she had issues with the house and then she went to the head of house lounge, it was Prince that was even there for her, talking to her and all that. Prince and Dorothy have spoken to Lucy in a quiet place. Like, they've spoken to her privately. Now it's obvious that, okay, this thing they are saying is not just making sense to this. So they just decided, okay, let's just make this in a public affair. Today is Friday. On Wednesday, was it on Wednesday? On Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, they were having this conversation in the lounge. Lucy, Dorothy, and Prince having the same conversation in the lounge. So I wonder why people are now coming out to say, oh, they shouldn't have attacked her in the public. Like, it's more like an arranged thing. It's not an arranged thing. When you talk to someone privately, you keep talking to the person, you're just there for the person, you got the person's back. But then if the person seems like you're not even doing anything for them, you now come out and say, oh, you're not my friend, then fine, so be it. Even Dorothy even had to say that all of us came into this house, you didn't know me from anywhere. And whenever we leave the house, if you don't want us to be friends, good and fine. Nobody is forcing friendship on anyone. I think she's very right at that. Lucy sometimes, she actually goes overboard. And I'm not going to say that most times she has not said things that are right. Lucy has said so many things that are right. But I think the problem Lucy has is her presentation, the way she goes about it. I think that is just the major problem Lucy has. Not like what she's saying is wrong. So I think that's just it. I think basically for everybody, every human being out there, including myself, when you find out that you're having misunderstanding with virtually everybody around you, it's better you just sit down and give yourself a check, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What have I said wrong? What am I supposed to change? And all of that. You cannot be having problem with everybody in the house. I think Lucy has quarreled with virtually everybody in that house. I think she's the only one that has quarreled with everyone. So it's not a good thing. It doesn't tell well of anybody. Like, seriously, no matter how you are, no matter how when you get to a gathering of people, there are certain things you just have to drop. There are certain levels you have to drop. There are certain things about you too you have to drop and try and accommodate all others. This life is just all about accommodation. Even when it doesn't suit you, just try and accommodate a little. So that's just it. Then we now see Kiddwaya and Erica having a conversation in the garden, and Lucy was just on the bed lying down. You know, when Lucy is sober, she just goes on her own, and I don't know whether she reflects, I don't know, but most times she's always soliloquizing and all that. Then Kiddwaya went, you know, the initial problem was between Kiddwaya and Lucy, when Lucy said, oh, she can't walk with Kiddwaya. So Kiddwaya went to meet her on the bed and like, Lucy, can I hug you? And Lucy like, why are you hugging me? Then Erica now went ahead to say, but everybody needs a hug once in a while. And that was how they now hugged. And then Lucy now went ahead to say, oh, she feels...
I want to give you a hug. Just give me a hug.
Why?
Why not?
Because everybody needs one sometimes.
Erica, this is between me and her.
Okay.
Kiddwaya is more of a friend to her than Prince and Dorothy. In my mind, I'm like, well, you are entitled to your opinions and your thoughts, so I'm not going to judge you about that. Not at all. I will not judge you on that. So that's basically all that happened between yesterday and this morning. The wager challenge, we don't know yet if they won it, and I think that's it. Then for the Oppo games, the pictures I'm seeing on Twitter, they're so lit. I'm just going to give you highlights of some of the pictures. Like, they're so lit. I'm loving those pictures. Even team I forgot the last team that team 5 that had Erica, Nengi, and V. I thought, even as they didn't finish their own tasks or their own presentation, the pictures I saw that came out from this thing, I love the pictures. I'm going to leave pictures here, as I said. So that's all that will be happening, that happened yesterday and today. So if there's any other thing, I'll leave it, I'll bring it up to maybe later in the day and all that. So there'll be the arena games and maybe there'll be a task today. So that'll be it for now. Have yourself a good day and take care of yourself. Bye.